I asked a bunch of Mario 64 speedrunners what got them into speedrunning. None of them responded. What got you into speedrunning? Someone posted a Siglemic stream on Reddit when he was on world record pace, and I started watching his stream regularly. After watching a GDQ 2013, I started running myself. I started by watching random chess YouTube videos, then watched Chess Network stream on Twitch, and eventually raided into an SM64 stream. That's interesting that a chess stream would raid into an SM64 stream, but still an interesting way to get into the community. ZFG and Binny in like 2013. Minus World, the 10v1 Net64 speedrun videos. I blame it all on simple flips and cheese. A Siglemic 16-star speedrun. Summoning Salt recommended YouTube vids, and then Ouija/Draws live streams early 2018. Used to play the game casually all the time on Wii U VC, and just decided to learn the speedrun one day. I learned the 16-star route after watching one video and raced a friend who also didn't know the route before doing the race, and we both watched the same video. I continued and learned 70-star, and my friend lost interest. I feel like whenever you have someone there next to you, it definitely makes speedrunning a lot easier, as now you have competition and also someone you can improve with. It makes it a lot more fun for sure. I find it really interesting that you just kind of had a race just blindly, not even knowing the route. They just kind of went in and just prayed that everything went right. My friend told me to race him in 16-star, and I didn't even know the route, and it was a 40-minute run. It seems a lot of people are joining the community just by a random race from friends. My first experience with speedrunning was with Super Mario Bros. 3 when I was 13 or 14. I learned the credits warped and dropped until early 2021 when I finally decided to say fuck it and actually put in the work to start learning Mario 64, like I had been wanting to for years at that point. It was the game I played the most as a kid as well. Played it a ton from ages 3 to 7, then I played it occasionally after that, so I had a lot of experience playing the game. When I decided to start running, I just kind of made that realization that there was literally no reason for me to start learning. So my first run was a 16 run, completely from memory, watching runs on Twitch/YouTube, and ended up getting a what is that? What did that do bagging? A 1 hour, 30-minute run. Guy in college showed me Siglemic's Womps Fortress 100 coin. It seems Siglemic definitely seems to be a big staple into why a lot of people got into running the game, but then again, it kind of makes sense. He kind of was the staple of Mario 64 at the time. The art of perfecting any discipline is fulfilling and meaningful to me, and I was always great at games. I don't know if that necessarily answers the question. I mean, unless he's just saying that he really likes to play like perfection, and he's a very good gamer, so he decided to just run Mario 64. I kind of just started doing a run, kind of got lost in the sauce after that. So for me, it was two people, Clint Stevens and very embarrassingly, Miskiff. I just randomly found both of their YouTube channels and thought that it looked cool, so I tried it. LOL. I mean, I feel like even though it may be embarrassing, even if you get introduced it from Miskiff, I feel like it's still pretty cool considering, hey, he still did bring light towards the community. I got into speedrunning when Tom introduced me to Ted Fed Speedrun Mario on Mixer. Then a few months later, I discovered Cheese, then D whatever, Liam, and Simply, and they really got me into trying out speedrunning myself. Seeing that no matter what level you start at, there's room for improvement, and therefore always result toward dedication to the time you put in. I guess that really doesn't also answer the question, but I guess the same as Cheese. I guess he's just kind of clarifying how they're committed to doing what they do. At first, I watched Siglemic and Binny as my intro to it, and then a few years later, decided to watch Cheese run 70, and his grind made me want to try it out. So I booted up Qumu and then bought an N64 like a week later. You know what's funny about that is I believe, I'm not sure if it was Siglemic necessarily, but I believe people thought that Slippery Nip was Siglemic when I used no cam. I was an SM64 speedrunning viewer for a while, Cheese, Lerner, Dowski, Kano, etc., and got intrigued by LBLJ for some reason. Once I figured out how to do it, I decided to learn more stuff and ended up running the game. One word, Armada, and all my friends had a world record in the games they played and felt left out, so I did, technically. Plus Mario looks cool. My friends gave me shit for Mario Mario, but who's laughing now? I'm not sure if I ran SM64 or Super Mario Sunshine first, so it kind of depends, but with Super Mario Sunshine, I was introduced to watching popular glitch videos and a Let's Player I watched at the time called Red Falcon Games, who started streaming speedruns of Sunshine. For SM64, I probably saw Siglemic's 2013 GDQ run and thought it looked really cool. It really does seem like Siglemic seems to be one of the biggest staples for introducing a lot of the top runners now into Mario 64. And I mean, it makes sense. Twitch and Dowski. I learned about speedrunning as a kid, like around 2004, 2005, my birth year. There was a show called Cinematech on now defunct TV channel G4 Tech TV. I did a couple of episodes briefly showcasing speedruns on it. I looked up online and saw SM64 speedrunning being a thing, learned BLJs, and being thrilled about skipping most of the game. Fast forward to 2013, that's when I discovered GDQ videos on YouTube and watched a bunch of them, notably Siglemic and Peach's SM64 runs. I really got into watching Twitch live streams in 2014 and would lurk Siglemic and Punkation streams. Watching them play got me hyped enough to actually sit down and properly learn a 16-star speedrun. You know, the fact that there was a show that would showcase speedruns on it definitely sounds interesting to me. I had no idea that actually existed. I grew up playing N64, so I have an insane amount of nostalgia for those games. I saw OOT had 4,000 viewers one day and was immediately like, no, 4,000 viewers on OOT in in 2014? This game is 18 years old. You know, hearing that it's 18 years old in 2014 definitely does not sound right. Then I saw a trick to skip half the Deku tree and my mind was blown. Then I found Siglemic's run at SGDQ 2013 or 2014 and thought it was amazing. Another thing is living in a remote place like Alaska makes it much harder to compete in games. I can easily compete in speedrunning without anything holding me back. You see, by saying OOT having 4,000 viewers blowing his mind, I can agree with that entirely. Whenever I saw that SM64 had over 1 million followers on Twitch, definitely threw me off at the time because I didn't know about community speedrunning, so I just thought it was very weird that such an old game was getting such attention. Honestly, my story isn't super interesting, but in my case, it's from watching Clint Stevens on YouTube about 2 years ago. I watched him do some Koopa free runs in Super Mario Odyssey and thought he was like insanely good speedrunner. I started watching SM64 speedrunning videos and got even more interested. The first SM64 streamer I started watching on Twitch was actually Kano in early 2021, right around when he started to stream Unlimited for the 16-star world record. Watching Clint Stevens highlight videos and thinking it's the funniest shit I've ever seen, and I thought, I could do that. The first SM64 speedruns I saw were the 10v2 on Minus World with cheese and simple flips. I enjoyed them a lot and decided to have a look at what the speedrunning was all about. I had a look on Twitch and found Wilco doing 120 speedruns in June of 2020. I enjoyed watching them a lot, and in December of 2020, I decided to try my first 16-star speedrun. I loved it so much and decided to carry on grinding down my time. That's where my story starts. So it looks like, from what I've seen, Minus World definitely seems to have picked up a lot on speedrunning as well. And I guess that makes sense. I mean, hey, speedrunning isn't very well known, and those videos definitely had a lot of views. I originally played Romhacks casually after watching Kaze make his own hacks on stream in 2017 and watching Simple Flips during that same time period. I think late 2017, Kaze made a couple of updates to his SM64 Odyssey physics mod, and the cappy ability was insanely broken. So I played that hack and practiced for a bit. I held the world record in 80% a couple times for the version I played on. A couple months later, after watching runners like Cheese, Simply, Yale, and other play the game, I went into 16 thinking, lol, I'm already good at the game and know the physics, so I'll get a free 15. So I did my first run on July 19th, 2018 and got a 2036 and kept on playing from there. Around 3 months later, I switched to console and kept grinding from there. Admittedly, that mindset of getting a free 15 was pretty stupid going at the start, but I didn't boast my goals too much. It took a little under 2 years to get my first 15. My friend wanted to race me in 16 stars, so they taught me and I started playing. Why is everyone just getting challenged to races and then getting caught in the speedrunning vibe, man? This video was on my homepage back in early 2014. Watching speedruns, not gonna lie. What got me interested in speedrunning was watching Simply, but what actually got me into speedrunning myself was watching Ouija grind Mario for like 10 hours straight. I've been playing SM64 since I was little, so it just makes sense. While Cheese reacted to the Charlie Brown fake blindfolds SM64 run popped up on my YouTube recommendations, so I watched it. I like Cheese, so I kept watching his videos, and I wondered how hard it would be to do some of the tricks, so I launched my Project 64 to see if I could even get BLJs, and I got them. I learned the 16 route, and I was addicted. It is very addicting whenever you start to actually get runs going, or just, you know, learning things and feeling good at the game. It kind of just gets very addicting to play more. I always wanted to get into it. Then I started watching the 10 YouTubers versus 1 speedrunner videos on YouTube, and I finally decided to do it. Another Minus World introduction to speedrunning. I watched the speedrunner Richard Sage when I was at school. I learned the basics of OOT to defeat Ganon, and after about 5 years, changes to work, and the whole COVID situation, I thought I'd push myself to learn a game, and got pulled towards Mario. Also, I hate myself, so speedrunning seemed to be the natural progression. I always played Mario games in a speedrun kind of way. I would play them multiple times through and memorize levels and find shortcuts. I played other games, but throughout my life, I came back to SM64 time and time again. I distinctly remember waiting above the eel in Jeremy to grab its star, ending CCM reds with a broken bridge red so I could end the long jump across just as the star spawn cutscene started. I don't know, my list of tricks was really short, but I always came back to SM64 even when I got a PC in my late teens. Maybe once or twice a year I'd play it for a week or so I could get all 120 stars on all files, then delete them all so I could do it again. Then in like 2012, I would have been 20. My friend Marty showed me what I now know is a TASS. I was blown away. I don't think he knew what a TASS was, and he just kind of saw that and was like, what is happening? Initially, I thought it was a person playing, and then I was bummed out when he told me it was predetermined inputs, but the optimization left an impact on me. For whatever reason, life, jobs, whatever, I didn't look for actual human gameplay until like 2018. I saw no connection between a person playing and someone making a TASS. Now, clearly, if someone can make a TASS of Mario moving that fast, they have knowledge of how to make him move as fast. I don't know, I was ignorant. Anyway, I always watched YouTube videos of this game called Rust I was addicted to. A Twitch streamer named B Chills uploaded YouTube vids, and then I would go live on Twitch. I checked the stream out in Twitch and then looked for other games. Once again, I went back to SM64. I was DJing as hell at this point in my life, and I was up to like 3 a.m. Mountain Time. So were Wilco and Buka, playing Mario. I watched months of 120 runs between the two of them. I would fall asleep slowly listening to the streams. I would guess where they were in a segment of the run based on the sound alone and be right. I was learning the route without knowing I was really. Then I did my first 120 RTA. No practice. 9 hours and a sore thumb later, I had my first time. The next day I did my second run, 8 hours. Next day, next run, 4 hours, then I got a 3-hour time and switched to 70 and grinded for sub 1 hour for a month or so. And then, you know, learned other stuff here and there. And here we are today, and I still suck. Game too hard. Never gonna stop though. I remember whenever I saw the triple jump in Rainbow Ride, I thought it was fake because I couldn't do it. I started speeding Paper Mario in 2021. What got me into it was my fascination of seeing how fast one of my favorite games could be completed, and it really motivated me to start learning the strats and tricks to improve my runs. As for SM64, I was going through a hard time, and I watched Kristen EXO a lot do 16 runs and making good friends and slowly feeling better. She's the reason I got into running Mario 64 in February 2022. Her passion for the game and her kindness made me want to see for myself how much fun I can have with the game. To this day, no matter how frustrated I've gotten, I have gone from not liking SM64 to loving it. You know what's funny about this is that most people go backwards. They love the game, then they proceed to not like it afterwards. I'd always seen speedrunning and thought it was interesting. First one I saw was a Siglemic GDQ run from like 2015, but what sparked my motivation was Cheese's 138.54 at Break the Record. When I watched that video, I finally decided to get an emulator and try it out for myself, and now I'm locked in a contract trying to save the princess until the end of time. It's unfortunate how many times we have to save Princess Peach. Honestly, I'd say it was a happenstance that I got into speedrunning. I found myself riding the nostalgia wave of N64 Zelda titles, which first landed me in ZFG's stream. He ended up raiding fairly quickly over to the Human Protractor, where I was welcomed with open arms into the speedrunning community as someone who was immaculately clueless, and the rest is history. I attribute that raid for my getting into watching speedruns and feeling my want to try one for myself. Zelda looked immensely too difficult, but seeing others in the same community doing Mario 64 convinced me to try it instead. You know, and I've always seen that connection. OOT and Mario 64 seems very connected. It's very odd, but I mean, I could see why. They're both N64 games and seem to be the biggest childhood of the N64. It was actually Armada. I followed him on Twitch because of his Smash career and was interested to see him always playing SM64 instead. Watched him speedrun for a while and I thought it was incredibly impressive, but never actually thought I'd get into it myself. It looked too difficult. Then one day I was like, I'm gonna try it, and started doing some research. Next thing I know, I've completed the game with 16 stars, very slowly might I add, and had a ton of fun doing it. Just went for improvement after that, and have even branched out to running other games too. I knew SM64 from my childhood and saw it had 10,000 viewers on Twitch when I was browsing front page, so I checked it out and saw it was one guy, Siglemic. So I watched the stream and got hooked on speedrunning immediately. Probably a pretty common / basic answer. I saw Simply's 120 run of 138.28 in May 2020 during a YouTube autoplay wormhole, which led me to go download an emu. Man, I'm kind of glad we haven't had any issues right now. We have not had a single person give a bad response. Canon Coec 2012. Siglemic 148 at SGDQ 2014. Fun fact, it was my life goal to beat that run one day. I'm not even lying, Miskiff streams in 2020. I watched a lot of Ludwig and Miz at the beginning of 2020 when they found Simply. I started watching the fuck out of him, and then that made me try out speeding around June 2020. I mean, hey, Trey Borders popping off for the fact that he got interested from Miskiff. When I was younger, I already really enjoyed playing Mario on Wii Virtual Console, and I discovered Siglemic's GDQ run and a few TASS videos. I eventually found a 60-star tutorial and managed to do a 60-star playthrough with 8 years old. I seriously started playing when I was 11 in 2016 and got myself playing on an emulator doing runs on a laptop. Those Hobo Bros 10v1s got me into it, as well as wanting to spice up my playthroughs of different games. I started with SM64 because it was my favorite game for the longest. Dating back in like 2010, I started speedrunning in 2020. Simple flips. I saw one speedrunner versus 10 YouTubers and thought it was so very epic that somebody could eclipse people so completely that not even 10 people could run the game as fast as one. Basically, demolishing casuals is a life goal. To be honest, it just kind of happened. I used to watch in 2017 and stopped watching on Twitch until 2020. When I came back, I started watching again and got into SM64, which led me to wanting to speedrun it myself, which was probably a mistake, but damn is it fun. Not any particular person, just kind of happened. Well, it started when I was like 9. I was in my mom's car scrolling through YouTube and I saw a 70-star TASS. I was like, OMG, this game looks really cool. I never really tried it, but I learned some glitches like BLJs and Catalyst, and then I kind of stopped. A couple of years later, I got recommended a Simple Flips Star Road speedrun, and I was like, OMG, what is he playing? And I just took a bunch of notes like no falls damage from rollouts, ground pound all stars, and diving is fast. And then I played a bunch of Romhacks and had a bunch of fun. Then I did a 16-star speedrun and got a 26, and then quit because it was boring. Then I heard something about crystal stars from Fast. He was talking about OMM, and I tried the game out and it was f***ing sick. Then I speedran it and eventually got all the world records. Then I saw that people speedran the co-op port, and then I asked you to run it with me, and then my interest came back to me, and now we're here. Okay, definitely got through a lot of there. It was definitely really interesting to see how many people actually picked it up from Minus World. Minus World definitely seemed to be the one I saw the most frequently. If not, Siglemic was another one that definitely got a lot of people interested into it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, but that's literally all I had for you guys. Later.